Guys, do you think we'll win?
Yeah.
I have it up.
You have replays?
Yeah.
Andres' I don't know. No one set the ball.
Back from the timeout, Daniel Macchiarella with it for the Dutchman.
Now there.
And a pass behind the net for Chris Ardito. Ardito with a pass now to Jacobson. Now back up top with it is Macchiarella. Trying to get by Tyler Ferguson. Was able to do that now. Shot taken at the buzzer, but it doesn't go in. And that will do it for the first half of this game. And the second quarter is Niskayuna with a huge second quarter, scoring 7 goals to the Dutchman's 2. And they lead it by a score of 11-2. And that will do it for the first half. We will be right back. We'll catch you with second half action right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of today's game between the Dutchman and the Niskayuna Silver Warriors. I'm Sean Cunningham. The first half of the game, Niskayuna took over as they scored 4 goals in the first and 7 in the second quarter. And now the Dutchman looking to stage a big comeback in today's game, as with it now behind the net is Kevin Gutnich, who has one of the Dutchman goals so far today. And now he gives it along to Nick Cardinal. Goes back to midfield a little bit. Now waits for some new players to come on the field as Cardinal looks in, shoots one, and that one bounces wide of the net. As in goal now, as you see for Niskayuna, is number 3, Matt Frankel. In for Drew D'Alard. So both teams have had a goaltending switch so far today. As now with it is Caleb Jacobson, who has the other goal for the Dutchman. And now Macchiarella takes it forward, shoots one, and a save is made by Matt Frankel. And now coming forward with it is Jake Dominikowski. And he will now put it back for Colby Carrick, who now gives it along to Gabe Nish. Nish now floats it back for Dan Brownell. And now Brownell will give it across to Griffin Kane. Kane now puts it in front. Now with it for Niskayuna is Kane. As he got it back, shoots one, he scores. Griffin Kane with his 5th goal of the game. And Niskayuna once again with the first goal of the half, as Kane gets his 5th of the game to make it a 12-2 game. As the lead is now hit double digits, as there's 10:06 to go in the second half, or third quarter of the second half. As now face off at midfield with Blanchard and Van Buren, as Van Buren trying to get a hold of it. Bounces up, he gets knocked over on the play. As trying to pick it up there was O'Brien, but now it will be picked up by Jake Peck for the Dutchman. As Peck will now carry it forward, he'll throw it over the stick of Kevin Gutnich. And it will be picked up by Nick Frederigo, I believe. On my part would be Leo O'Brien, who now is carrying it forward. As O'Brien with Kevin Gutnich all over him, and now Ardito still carries it forward for Niskayuna. Here comes O'Brien. He'll put it behind the net for... Can't quite pick up a number now. See, it is McCullough. Took a shot, and he scores, I believe. Yes, he did. Finn McCullough gets a hat trick for Niskayuna, the second player with a hat trick on the day. And it's now 13-2, as he was able to bounce that one by Michael Baroa on the wraparound. And with 9:14 to go, the lead is now 11 for Niskayuna at 13-2. As Blanchard knocks it away this time from Van Buren. Trying to pick it up there was Abdu, but he was unable to do that. Now it's taken back as Tommy DeSinke went for a spill there, trying to get that ball. Now Ben Fiore will receive possession for the Dutchman, as he gave it off to Chris Ardito, who's now with it for the Dutchman. Ardito looks in, bounces one on goal, and a great save there from Matt Frankel. as he was able to block off the net, and now it's going to be given along to Julian Pigliavento. And then now with it is Jake Dominikowski, who now carries it forward for Niskayuna. Dominikowski into the zone, now puts it back for Dan Brownell. And now taking it is Griffin Kane. Kane walks in. Pass in front. It was mishandled by Caden Paddleford. And deflected wide of Baroa. As Peck tried to pass forward, it was knocked down. And now it's taken by Brownell in front. And that one deflects off the stick of McCullough. And will be picked up by Baroa and handed off to Jake Peck. Peck now with a pass to Cardinal. Trying to avoid Dan Brownell. He does, and now carries it up and gives it along to Aiden Seary for the Dutchman. Now Ardito receives it from Seary. He'll now give it back to him. Now Seary gives it along to Jacobson. Jacobson going in against Brownell. Put it behind the net, and now it's taken by Tyler Kisby, who now gave it back across to Ardito. Now with it is Cardinal, and now he gives the pass across to Aiden Seary. Seary, the pass now, it's dropped by Reese Newborn, trying to pick it up. And he's knocked away from it by Frederigo. And now it's picked up by Walter Ross, and he'll carry it forward for Niskayuna. Ross charges up midfield. He'll give it across now to Colby Carrick. And now it's Dan Brownell with it. Holds up and now gives it across to Guest. And now with it is Griffin Kane. Now he gives it across to Brock Berman. Now Kane with a pass back. And now David Guest will give it across to Brownell. Now he gets it back. Little pitch and catch here as now Brownell gets it back. Given on to Guest again, now back to Brownell. As Cardinal doing his best to defend on him. And Brownell hangs on to it. Now he'll give it across this time to Brock Berman. As Carruthers try to play on him. And now with it once again is Guest. He's trying to get on by Jacobson, but Jacobson pushes him back. Now with it behind the net is McCullough trying to make a wraparound move, but Johnny Clifford doing a good job defending here. As McCullough tried to get the wraparound goal, but he wasn't allowed. As now Kane receives it for Niskayuna. Now he passes it back to Berman, and now with it is Brownell. 5:25 to go here in the third quarter, rather. Still in the second half of the game. As a wraparound shot, they score. As that time it was David Guest who took the shot on the wraparound, and now it's 14-2 as Niskayuna has a 12-goal lead with 5:16 to go in the third quarter. As there's the wraparound from Guest. He was able to put it top shelf over the stick of Baroa. So now Blanchard will go against Cooper Wilson. And Wilson wins the draw. He lost it, though. And now it's taken by Caleb Jacobson. Or my bad, that's Brian Shue. And now Shue looks back, waiting for some new players to come out. Now with it is Niemeyer, and he gives it across to Chris Ardito. Ardito with a shot. He scores! Chris Ardito with a rip of a shot past Matt Frankel. And he gets the third goal of the game for the Dutchman. And now it's 14-3.
So, oh no. I'm gonna get a lot of money.
Alright, Sam,
Or, yeah, you're live.
I'm gonna abandon this for a minute.
Okay. It's gonna have like daddy issues, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Mac is abandoning the 3-play.
So 4:40 to go in the third quarter. The Dutchman back on the board with that goal from Ardito.
So after this,
As the faceoff is won once again by Cooper Wilson. And he's able to pick it up once again as Ben Fiore chasing after him. Looking to knock it out, he does. And Jake Peck will pick it up. And he had that knocked away from him as the whistle blows.
Andre, you're the entire government?
As Leo O'Brien,
Tilt down a little bit. Too much sky. Andre needs to tilt down, please.
Andre, you need
the pass forward, and now taking it back for Niskayuna is Gabe Nish.
you can loosen up a thing on the side because
Now with it for Niskayuna is Griffin Kane, and he gives it across to Jurgen Bach. Now behind the net is McCullough. Seems like he's trying to go for that wraparound again.
there's a thing on
And
the
now
side.
another shot. They score, and once again, guess who? It's Griffin Kane with his 6th goal of the game, and now it's 15-3 in favor of Niskayuna, and what a game this has been for the midfielder, for the senior midfielder from Niskayuna, as he has potted 6 of Niskayuna's 15 goals so far today.
Okay, go. You just gotta stand and reach your camera.
That's it.
I suppose you could see that. Sit. You got me a 2-second replay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, you had live action coming up really quickly. Beep beep. Just kidding.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life.
As
You know what?
Find the ball. Find the ball.
Dutchmen are going to pick it up at midfield, and now Logan Niemeyer will rush forward with it. Stop up, and now he'll give it across to Chris Ardito. Just scored the recent goal for the Dutchman, Ardito. With Colby Carrick defending, gives it across to Aiden Seary. Now Seary receives it back from Reese Newborn. And now Ardito charging back in. Seary now goes for Aiden Snyder, who lost control. As Carrick trying to pick it up along with Snyder and a few other players. There's a sea of players down there, and now finally it's picked up by Nicholas Reffelt. And it's now picked up by Tyler Ferguson. And that pass is dropped by Michael Dean. And it's picked up by the Dutchman and carried by Patrick Blanchard, who tried to pass up for Newborn, but it was away from his stick. Newborn knocked down the play as it was picked up by Reffelt and given across to the goaltender Matt Frankel for Niskayuna. Now with it is Julian Pigliavento. He airs it across the field, and that one went over everybody down there.
All right, listen. You people are losing the ball, and we can't follow the game if we can't see the ball. So try to figure out which player everybody's worried about, because that's the guy with the ball.
As Caleb Jacobson now in possession for the Dutchman.
Aggressive, because you'll miss the action.
As he charges into the other end of the field, as Nick Cardinal now with it for the Dutchman. Almost 2 minutes left here in the third quarter as Ardito charges in. Takes a shot. That one just hopped over the net as Kisby was looking to get it behind the net. Now he'll pick it up. And Kisby will give it back to Ardito, who now gives it across to Jacobson. Jacobson now with a shot for Cardinal, and that one hopped wide of the goalkeeper Frankel rather, as Chris Ardito will once again take control. Ardito now across for Jacobson. He almost lost control again, but he was able to pick it up and get it back to Ardito. As Ardito going in against Tyler Ferguson, took the shot, saved by Frankel, and the rebound is picked up by Jake Vittelins, who now gives it back to his goaltender. Now Colby Carrick will rush up. As Reese Newborn chasing after him, and now Carrick will go up with it. Now Carrick stops up, he'll give it across. And now with it for Niskayuna is Theo Angelopoulos. And now Dan Brownell with it. Took a shot, he hit the post. Rebound comes out to Guest, and he scores. So the second goal of the game for David Guest. And now it's 16-3. As time is down to less than a minute here in the third quarter. And that is going to end the third quarter. So Niskayuna picks up right where they left off once again, as they lead 16-3 with one more quarter to play here in Guilderland. So we take a look at some of the replays from the game so far, as there are a lot of goals scored in the quarter by Niskayuna. A lot of good saves made by their goaltender, Matt Frankel, as well. Niskayuna especially has been aided by that guy right there, Griffin King, number 29. He's had 6 goals on the day. So now we're getting started with the fourth quarter right now, as Van Buren and Dylan Blanchard will once again square off. As Blanchard flings it up, and now it's picked up by O'Brien almost. Now it'll be carried by Michael Dean. Now he loses control. He'll pick it back up as Jake Peck and the defense were going after him, as Leo O'Brien will now get a pass forward for Caden Paddleford. And now a whistle